everyone. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. I have a very, very special guest here for the show today, but her camera went off. We are going to wait until she gets back on. Matter of fact, I'm going to give her a call, and we're going to start this process over. Give me a second. Hey, you left the studio.
I saw that, and I just went out back to like something called StreamYard. Like, what on earth is happening here?
It's okay. Take your time, and I'll wait for you to get back on.
Okay, so let's see. Do I go back to that link that you sent me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. For the show. I shut that off. It's making noise. I shut you off. How could you do that? Well, okay, let's check your camera and mic. If your browser can't access your devices, close any other applications that might be using your camera or mic. Skype, Zoom, then refresh the page. Let's see if this does it. Okay, hold on. Now it disappeared.
Yes,
Oh, I think that can be adjusted. I'm so non-techie, girl. I'm toned.
It's okay. Take your time. We're live right now, so I'm waiting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Mic is working. Camera's working. Now, how do I get back in? Enter studio.
There you go. We're going to start this one at the beginning. Okay. Give me a second to load this up, and we're going to start from the beginning.
Okay.
In 3, 2, 1. Thank you, everyone, and welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. I have a very, very special guest here for the show today. Can you go ahead and announce to the world who you are and where you're calling from?
I am Rosalie Strawcutter. I'm calling from Galloway, Ohio, and I'm a psychic medium.
And we're going to dig into a lot of stuff today. So can you go ahead and talk about, thank you for joining the show, number one, but can we go ahead and talk about your past leading up into your present?
Sure. I've always been like this since I was a baby, I presume. I had unusual experiences with knowing things about my family members. I can go back to age 3 when my father wanted me to give my mother a letter, and I wouldn't give it to her because, it just didn't feel right. And he said, "You give this to her." I said, "It's going to make her cry." He said, "Give it to her anyway." So when he put it in my hand, I knew it would make my mom cry. So I stuck it in my panties, the back, my t-shirt, put my t-shirt down over top of it. I was playing with my sister, and my mother was rocking the baby and breastfeeding the baby. And she said, "What do you got there tucked in your panties?" I said, "Nothing." She said, "Bring nothing over here and let me see it." So I took the letter over to her and I said, "Mama, it's going to make you cry." And she opened it up and it did. She read it and she wrapped the baby all up, put the baby back in the bassinet and went into another room and started crying. And I said to her, "It's okay, Mama. He'll be back and he'll bring Grandma and Aunt Dorothy." Now, prior to that, I don't remember Grandma and Aunt Dorothy, but I don't know how long it was before he came back, but apparently my dad left us. And later I knew he had another kid and, the whole big family drama. But anyway, so he did come back and he brought Grandma and Aunt Dorothy. And when I told Grandma that I knew she was coming, and she asked how I knew it, and I told her what happened, and she goes, "You got the knowing, and you got it good." And so that's what I knew was different, different. Yeah. So,
What in
uh,
that letter did you say?
pardon me.
What in that letter? What did you say in the letter?
Oh,
Oh,
my father was leaving my mother,
oh,
and yeah, and he had a woman that had a child. You know, he had another woman with a child, and he felt torn between both the families. You know, and he wanted to see his kid. I suppose. I mean, at the time, I didn't know that, but later on, I figured, well, he probably wanted to see his other child. My mother said, "No way." You know, so anyway, that's it. It ended up he did go for a while, but I don't know how long he was gone because I was just a little kid. But his primary residence with us was with us, and I would say that every few years he would take off like that. He'd make sure we have lots of food in the house, you know, before he left, and he would leave for a couple weeks. You know, so
and,
um,
and tell
when I
me,
was older, oh, I'm sorry.
no, tell me more. When you was older, what
Yeah,
happened?
yeah. I didn't. When I was older, I would just say things to people, and I wasn't. My father didn't want me doing this because back then it wasn't looked, it was looked down upon. Back in the '60s, '70s, even the '80s and '90s. I think Miss Cleo came out in the '90s. I think she
Yeah,
brought
I
it.
remember that. Yeah.
She brought it to light a little bit, but yeah, it was difficult because we were. I didn't realize we were a poor family. We were very poor, but we lived in the neighborhood of poor families in Little Italy in Erie, Pennsylvania. And I remember coming home from school one time. This girl was picking on me because I wore a long dress. It was longer than normal, but I loved the dress. It was my sister's, and it was passed down to me, but it was still too long. My mother didn't have time to hem it, and she didn't want me to wear it, but I was insistent. So the girls picked on me in school, and on the way home, one of the girls in the neighborhood picked on me, and she was talking about my clothes, they were hand me downs and stuff. I says, you know what? I says, at least my dad's not having sex with me like yours is. So yeah, so
Oh,
I would just blurt things out like that. So I didn't,
yeah.
yeah, didn't have a lot of friends in school because I would just know things about people. Um, I did a, I had a dream. I think I was 16 about um, how to read cards. And they show me a layout, and they meaning the guides. The guides show me everything. And they usually show it to me in dreams when they want me to know something. And so they showed me a way to lay out my cards and to read them and interpret a regular poker deck of cards using them, their information, and receiving information from them along with the information from the cards. So that's how I picked up card reading. Um, it's kind of interesting. Back in the day,
How powerful is card reading? Are they accurate? Is it the card or is it the spiritual bond between the human and the card?
well, it is a spiritual bond between the human and the cards. I don't read tarot decks,
Mhm.
but I read a regular poker deck of cards. And when I'm doing a reading for someone, I pray for them before the reading starts. I ask to be connected to their akashic records, and I connect to my guides. And when I'm reading for them, I connect to their guides through their full birth names. So all the information comes out in cards, and I'll see like some cards will vibrate. Like if something is on in the eyes will vibrate on the card, and just the cards light up for me. I'll see them lit, which cards I need to choose. So it's kind of like that for me.
Well said. And when you were a teenager, you said that you decide you had a dream about doing these deck of cards. Now, what supernatural things have occurred, and who have you read to that just was astonished by your accuracy?
Oh my gosh. I've read for a lot of people over the years, and most of them are astonished by the accuracy. I've read for I can't name drop. Famous musician, we'll say that one. I have a real famous musician. Um, that he contacts me every time his band comes into town. But a lot of things, especially when I was doing medium work, when I was doing mediumship, and I didn't start that until I was in my 40s because I didn't, hey, I get freaked out by things too, but this has been my life. So my life has always been freaked out by everybody, but I had to kind of get used to it. But I remember, so many instances, my gosh. With medium work, people would come in, and it's called evidentiary mediumship. That's when you get like accurate information about the person that's coming in that you're reading about. So like, let's say with your orange and beige polka dot shirt there, I would say, yeah, your grandmother's coming through. She's wearing an orange polka dot shirt. And, she has really nice earrings on. She always puts her makeup on, make sure she looks good. And I would describe this person to a T, or they'd show me like old photographs, black and white photographs of what they looked like back in the day, because they always came in younger. But that really freaked out a lot of people that I was so accurate on that. But doing that kind of work takes a toll on you because.
Hold on. I had a quick question. Do you think you can do a reading on me through the virtual for the audience?
I could.
A mini reading. A mini reading.
Mini reading. Okay. Let me get into some energy here, and I need to touch the screen here, and I need your full birth name.
Kimberly Michelle Cloud.
Okay. Can you sit back just a little bit? Thank you. Okay. You're a pretty intuitive person. I can see your intuition lit up around your head. You also kind of have an empathic side too, but I think you've gotten that under control to where you're not so much looking at everything as when empaths are empathic, they feel everything. I mean, they absolutely feel everything. They can't turn it off. And I do see that around your headspace. And but I think you've gotten a little bit of a handle on it to where okay, well, I know I'm overthinking this because I could feel it so much, but I do see that about you. Wow. Now I'm not tuning into medium work, but I do see a huge orb beside you. So I feel like this is a grandmother presence or something that passed around you. I also have that I'm hearing from my guides that she's very intelligent. So you're a very intelligent individual. And I want to go back to that person over there because I feel that this person was very, very proud of you, extremely proud of you and the woman you become. And you've overcome all these obstacles, is what she's saying, that you overcome all these obstacles. And I'm hearing that. I'm not seeing it. Can you touch your screen for a second? I'll touch mine. Yeah, I don't want to get too personal with you, but I just got some personal information. But I'm sure you don't want to share that. But I feel that things coming up for you are moving forward. I hear moving forward, even though, and I think you and I are going on the same boat with something that we love. I think you told me over the phone, you're closing down one part of your business. I am too. I'm closing down one of my businesses. It was a business I've had for a long time, a skincare business. And, I got to close it down and I don't want to, but I have to. So anyway, but I think you're doing something like that too. I feel that energy around you too. So I'll tell you when we're off the show what I was to tell you. Okay. So that's about all I got.
Well said. And you were accurate 99.9% of everything. So I wanted to thank you. Thank you for giving me that free reading, by the way.
You're welcome.
She passed June 6, 2000, and my grandmother passed from colon cancer as well, like in the 80s or early 90s. So yeah, I know that they're watching over me. So
okay. Was your grandmother a strong presence? Because I felt like she was right there. I felt it was a grandmother energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a very strong presence. She protected me. So yeah, so I have another question for you. I wanted to know what happened negatively in your life with the aneurysm and everything, and how did you overcome that? Tell the story like you told it to me.
Yeah. When I was, like I said, a lot of, because I do evidentiary medium work and it's accurate, pretty accurate. I can't toot my own horn too much. It's not good for me to do that. But all I can say is I'm very good at what I do. That's about all I can say. But anyway, I would do it. My mainstay of work was medium work, and it's a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy to get there to where you're seeing these people when you're giving these accurate informations, and you have to go to a higher place. And transferring my energy up that high was really draining it a lot. And so over the years, I started getting, sick, getting sick and sicker. People would come to I used to do it at home. People would come to my home and give me a cold and then lie and said that they didn't have a cold, but I got a cold and I was out of work for 10 days. So I can't work when I'm sick. But anyway, I had done a medium reading actually it was for an actor. And it was my last reading because I couldn't take any more of it. After that reading, I was down on the couch for 3 days, and then
You said that the readings that you do drained you,
yeah.
right?
Well, those did, not the card readings. The card readings are fine because I'm still in a high vibrational energy, but it's much lower than I have to go to for medium work. Let's say if I was looking at it on a scale, like feet. If I'm doing card readings, it's the highest I go is about 4 or 5 feet. My energy out to reach things or pull in from the guides or something like that, and it doesn't drain me. But when I do that, it'd be like you have to go up like 30 feet, 40 feet, to get to that kind of energy to where you're getting the accurate information and words, from these people.
Can I tell you a story before you continue? And then I promise you, we're going to, okay. So one day I keep crystals like you keep crystals. And I have a specific crystal that I keep in my bra that has it I won't talk about it, but it has a triangle and an infinity sign embedded in it due to something that happened to me. So moving on from that, I keep like several of them, but I was in Boston, Massachusetts, and this young lady that I met, she was a beautiful young whippersnapper, and she said she had big dreams. I said, well, maybe you'll be the next senator of Boston. And she laughed. She said she would like to be. So I took my hand and I gave her a handshake, and I wished nothing but the best. And I had her touch my crystal, and I told her about it. And then I exchanged my energy into her a little bit. And what happened to me the next day, I came on my period and I was so drained. I felt so drained. Is that normal?
Yeah, that is normal for people who are gifted. When you give away your energy like that, when you give it away and you're not receiving it back, it's really, because it's difficult. Like as a medium and an energy worker, and you're seeing things and you give out this information, and the person is like either bullshit or or whatever. I don't believe it, stuff like that. I don't want to hear it. You're a witch, whatever. They don't want to hear it. So you're receiving back their negative response to it or their confused response to it. But it drains your energy to give that much energy of your own away.
And so you caught an aneurysm, right?
Yeah. So when I had a stroke first, and my life has been a series of miraculous things that were horrible, happened, but showed something else that was worse or could have been worse. So I had a stroke, and it was an unusual stroke. I had dizziness, nausea. I couldn't control the dizziness or the nausea. I kept praying to get it under control so I could just go to bed, and the dizziness eased up some. So I started to go upstairs, and I said, I'm just going to go to bed and forget it. I'll wake up fine tomorrow. Well, on my mirror in front of me in the bathroom, I have STOP, which is the how to notice a stroke, So I did all the things, I smiled. Yeah, that was good. Um, I raised my arms up to make sure they were raising at the same level. And I forgot what the other things are, but speech is one of them. Speech was the first one. So when I tried to speak out loud, because I'm at home by myself, and I just talk to guides and spirits. So, but I spoke out loud, and I'm thinking in my head that I'm feeling dizzy. What came out of my mouth was, "I'm fuzzy dizzy." I'm like, oh poop. Now I got to call 911. So I did. And I sat there and waited for them. And I also felt like I had a big ball stuck at the back of my head, like I didn't want to raise my head. And it felt like if I did, it would pop. I don't know why that was. But anyway, so they took me to the hospital. And they didn't want to, because my voice started coming back while they were examining me. And he goes, well, you seem fine now. Do you want to forget this and stay home? I said, no, I want to go. This is something abnormal for me. So I went to the hospital, and while they were doing tests there, came back. And while they were doing the test, I had a blistering brain aneurysm that started to bleed. And so they immediately stopped that with a shot that they give to clot the blood. And I had to stay in the hospital for a few days. And the whole time I was there, everybody came in and said, you need to see Dr. Vora. You need to see Dr. Vora. You need to see Dr. That's what everybody came in and said that to me. I'm like, okay. So when I got out, I called Dr. Vora. He got my information. He told me I had a blistering brain aneurysm and that I would have to have surgery. And I wasn't real happy about that. But glad to know I had it. Glad to know it'd be surgically taken care of. So when it came time, my sister came in from out of state to be with me for these things. And I remember the first time we went in, we were talking about it, and, everything was okay. And I'm being okay about it, being cool, and have the surgery. And it went well. He asked me, there's 3 different surgeries you could do. And one of them was really invasive. And he said, which one would you like? I says, hey, pretend I'm your mother and give me that surgery, because I want the surgery you would give to your mother.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, so he did that. They went in, believe it, they went in through my groin, came up through my belly, around my heart, up into this area, and then up into my head through here and through the carotid artery. It's crazy. But I didn't have any residual from that stroke, and I don't have anything left. I mean, well, I'll tell the rest of the story about this aneurysm, because the surgery went well. It was great. And then and I had the surgery in July. And then in August, man, I was getting these headaches right across my head, right? Just like that. And they were getting worse and worse. And I told him, called Dr. Vora, because he's so great. He says, yeah, here's my telephone number. Call me if you need anything. Call me if you have any question. Nothing stupid. I said, nothing is stupid. He said, so I did. I called him. I said, look, I'm having these headaches, and they're really bad. And they're going from like one side of my head to the other. They just keep flipping back and forth. And he says, well, let me schedule you for an MRI. So my sister came in for that. We went and had that done. And so we came out into the room, and he says, well, would you like the good news or the bad news? And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's bad news, but there's good news. So I said, well, let's hear the bad news. And he said, the bad news is the surgical procedure completely clotted on both sides of your artery. So the artery is totally blocked to your brain. And I'm thinking, okay. And my sister and I were both in medical for years. We worked in medical field. She still does. And I said, so why am I A, not a vegetable, or B, not dead? And he says, well, here's the good news. And he pulled up another film, and he said, this is your, this is my left side. Yeah, I'm looking at the camera. It looks wrong. So he said the carotid artery on your left side of your brain plumped up and sent blood vessels to the right side of your brain to feed that side of your brain that wasn't being fed.
Is that normal? Is that normal?
No, it's not normal. It's normal in hearts. It does work in hearts like that, but it doesn't work in brains like that, especially at that distance, So I said, well, that's a miracle. And he says, well, it's an anomaly. And I says, hey, potatoes, potatoes. For me, it's a miracle.
I love it. I love it.
That's a miracle to me. So I'm supposed to still be here for a reason, but I did have to plan my funeral. That was we were crying all through that, because he said, you probably should make some kind of plans just in case. But so my funeral's all planned out, and so is my epitaph and all that nice stuff. So anyway, and I survived all of that. So, and with my stroke, I lost math. I carry a cosmetic chemist license, but I can't do the math anymore, of that kind of stuff. So when I had my stroke, I had a lot of cue cards, math cards, that I would study, like the times tables were really hard. Now I have, Alexa to help with math, so I don't even worry about it anymore. But I don't formulate like I used to, and that's the company I'm going to close down.
You have done some wonderful things, and you've been through a lot of stuff, and your brain actually rebuilt itself, said, no, I'm not going nowhere. Your spirit gave signal to your brain to do that. That's so miracle. That is a potato type thing. So tell me now, I don't want to say where do you see yourself, because I want to know about different frequencies, your crystals. Tell me about your crystals in under 2 minutes and how the frequencies help guide you. Tell me about the one on your head first.
Okay, well, these are pure grade crystals. They are all natural from the earth, and they cost a little more than most crystals, but they're the real deal. And I attached them through copper wiring to a copper band. And it's the energy, I take them to a vortex, and I charge them at the vortex. And so it's the energy of the vortex. I also set them on a Tesla tachyon plate, if you're aware of that. I brought one up, but this is a Tesla tachyon plate, and the real ones have that EIP on it. Let's see if we can get that there. The real ones have that symbol on it. And so this plate's anodized aluminum, and it's treated with something, I don't even know what it's treated with, but they're purple. And anything you put on these charges. And even if you're drinking water, it'll change the frequency and vibration taste of the water. So your water will taste better on it. Food will taste better when you've had it on it. So I have these coins that I was guided to make, and I put them on a huge tachyon plate to charge. But yeah, as far as the crystals go, I work more with metal, with the copper, than I do with the crystals, but I'm well aware of the power of the crystals. And I also I just received an order for copper hematite beads. Hard to find copper ones. So I have copper hematite beads. Very grounding, very grounding. And this will connect you, the crystals here connect you to the higher energies. And the copper is connected to a higher frequency at the serpent mound, which is
that copper, Rosalie.
Pardon me?
How do you get that copper? Because I never heard of that at all. You astounded me with talking about copper and different wires that can connect you to a different frequency.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, something new. I'm sharing something new, huh? Okay. Well, let me take it off here. So it's just a regular headband, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I charge these headbands, and I charge the copper wire I have them attached to. Let's see. Whoops. Can you see them?
Yes, that is so smart.
Yeah, so I attach them through there, and everything's charged at the serpent mound. These are charged under a moon. The crystals are charged under a moon. And it's usually a moon where Venus is well placed. So it's all about love. All of this is about love. Everything I do is about love. And so the crystals are charged under a Venus moon, which is about love. And of course, it's fortuitous and money. And the copper is charged at the serpent mound with the energy there. The vortex, which is all about love energy too. So that's a whole big story about the Adena Indians and stuff like that. It's a long story. I don't think we have enough time for it. But yeah, I was guided to create these copper coins. Let me get, I'll put that one down. I'll show this. So because I have these dreams, prolific dreams, and I believe that when you ask for guidance and you're thinking in your higher self, more than you, what's more than you? I need guidance for something more than me. And so I would ask for guidance on how to help others. What can I do to help others more? Because I mean, I can only do so much as a reader, right? So they gave me a dream, and all my dreams that are fortuitous come early in the morning, like around 4 and 6 a.m. So I had this dream where they woke me up and they told me to draw something, and I had to get up and draw it. They made me draw a bird and sun rays. I actually have it right here. So let me show you the actual drawing I did, because I keep a journal by my bed. But they had me draw it, and I drew what they said to draw. And then here it is. Oh, that's what they had me draw. And I'm like, what's this about? So I thought I was going to see these symbols the very next day. I said, I'm going to see these. And no, I didn't. I didn't see them. I looked all day for them. I got nothing. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what that's about. So, but the next night, I had a dream about the opposite side of this coin. I didn't know it was a coin at the time. I didn't know it was a coin until the fourth dream. But the first dream, they told me what to make. The second dream, they told me what the meaning of these things are, what the meaning of the symbols are. And then they told me on the third night, it was the dream of the back, and the fourth night, the dream of what those symbols meant. And then how I was going to make it, because I thought I was going to make it out of wood, because I have made products out of wood. I have this little sigil here, which I just transferred to copper, and there's a protection sigil. And I just transferred this to copper. I'll have this week and to be sold as a necklace, because somebody asked me to make that into a necklace. But anyway, so then I was trying to figure this out in my dream. I said, okay, so what is this about? So I knew it was a coin. I knew I was making it. I thought I was making it out of wood because I've done that before. But they said, no, you're going to make it out of copper. And I thought, wow, I've worked with copper, but I'm thinking they wanted 10,000 of them made. So I thought, that's a lot of copper items, copper coins I have to make. And but they gave me another dream, and they told me how they wanted the box to look. I'll show you the whole thing. They showed me everything. So here's my logo. They gave me the logo, and it's Vivita Healing. It's hard to do things backwards, this camera. And then the box opens up like this, and you have a velvet pouch in here. And inside, it says Sending Love is the name of that coin. So there it is, Sending Love, Vivita Healing. Okay, so here, and then you get a nice velvet pouch with it. And this is the actual coin. So you get this.
And that's copper, right?
That's 100% pure copper, yep. It says Sending Love. So it's also in the Tesla's 369. See that on the universe? 369 in the universe. 3 wings of flight. The wings and the tail is the flight of the bird. 6 olive branches there for peace. And 9 solar rays going out to the universe. So 369. And this is pure copper. They did an excellent job on that. Plus the guides told me, I said, where am I going to get this made? And they told me where to get it made. 2 words they told me, and I looked it up online, and there it was. And I called them up, and they made this for me. I never show the back of it because, 1, I don't want it knocked off, and 2, it's pretty powerful. And it's pretty powerful because they wanted me to charge it on the Tesla tachyon plate, which I told you I have a huge one. I have a couple big ones. So I had to charge on a Tesla tachyon plate for 7 days while charging it with the vibrational energy of 528 hertz, which is the hertz of love. It's the solfeggio scale unit for love. And so I did that, 7 days on that, 7 days on Tesla tachyon plate. And as I package them, I have to say, it's kind of goofy, but I say sending love, while I'm packaging them. And so I've done everything that they said to do. And they actually told me that I would be selling them through venues like this. That's how they said, because also, I'm sure there's another way, but this is how I've been guided to do it. So I've been following that path. Now, I have not made it into a necklace, but I did buy, this is my personal one actually. So I did buy one of those necklace things that you put around a dollar bill, silver dollar. So I bought that, and this is my necklace, so I'll be wearing it. And I'll be able just to use it. And how you use this is, because this is fully charged, ready to use. And this is to help you send love quickly to anyone, anywhere, under any circumstance. And I just think it's a fabulous idea because, what if you could stop a war? What if you were a person who sent love regularly, and the more you send it, the more energies get to that energy. So I always believed in the power of love. And so it comes with a booklet on what each symbol means. It comes with how to use it, because you pull the energy into your body, down into your chest. It blows up into your fingers. You put one hand on your chest so you can hear the vibration. And you use the back of the coin. There's an emblem on there that you use to stroke, and you would send love. And you only have to do it 3, 6, or 9 times. So, and then you're done. You get into the high frequency, that's it. You're there. You can deliver quickly and easily to anyone, anywhere in the world. And you don't have to know the circumstances. Like, you don't have to send, I want to send love to my cousin Bob, who's in prison because he was wrongly committed. Nobody cares. The universe doesn't care about that. The universe wants you like, hey, send the love, just send the love. And some people say, well, can I do it without the coin? Well, sure you can. You could do it without the coin. But how are you going to know when you're done? How are you going to know how are you going to know when you're in that vibrational energy? Because a lot of people overthink so much, and while in meditative states. But this gets you there. You get the thoughts. It tells you how, but the booklet tells you what kind of energy you need to get into, what you got to be thinking of at the time. Like, you don't want to think like, oh, my ex-boyfriend Bob, I want him back, I love him so much. No, that's not going to do. It's going to be, I'm sending love to quote unquote Bob in prison, but I'm sending love to Bob. I'm sending love to Bob. I'm sending love to Bob. That's all you need to say. They don't care that he's in prison. They don't care what he's done. They don't care, But I've always said, if the unconditional love you feel is like how you felt when you saw your first child, the energy you had there, that's the energy you have to get into. And if you don't have children, then when you first fell in love, that energy. But a lot of people want to buy it to we'll bring love into your life, because energy goes and comes back to you. So, but it'll be an unconditional love. It won't be the, I want you back kind of love. You're my boyfriend and da da da. It's not that individual love. It's universal love that comes back to you.
Can I ask you? We're running out of time, and I appreciate everything you said. So tell me, where are you going in the future, and how can the people find you in under 3 minutes?
Well, I'll tell you where they can find me first, because that's right on my mind. If you want a reading, you go to readingsbyrosalie.com. And if you want to buy a coin, it's at vividahealing.com. It's VIVIDA healing.com. And where am I going in the future? Well, I can only tell you what my sister always tells me. She goes, I can't even believe this, but I really think you're going to be 87 years old in bed taking readings. And she may be right. She may be right. But I do everything I do, I do it to help others. And I truly believe that, you're getting, when you're asking your higher self and your guides to direct you, it's because it's for unselfish reasons. It's like, I'm not making millions on this. This coin is $25, so, but it buys more coins. The money I make buys more coins. So
You know what? I'm not perfect with frequencies, but every time you wave that thing, my eyes like it hurt in a good way. Not anything bad, but I just feel the energy coming out of it.
Yeah, people who, I've had this woman cry. She called me up crying. She said, Rosalie, she goes, I sent love to the war in Ukraine. She goes, and I cried giving that energy up. She goes, because I wanted them to feel the love that I was sending. And she said she cried through the whole thing. And I've had people say, like, well, it's not working for me. What do you do? I'm like, well, you have a booklet, but I mean, follow the booklet, but it's not working because you're not putting the energy in that you need to. And this is charged, ready to go. It's ready to do its job. You just have to work on your end to ignite it, be the spark. You have to be the spark.
I want to thank you so much, Rosalie, for joining my show. Stay on the line. You guys, thank you for watching her. She's a wonderful person. She done been through a lot, and she deserves nothing.
Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Sending love your way.
Thank you so much. I'm receiving it. Yes.
You stay on the line. Y'all take care. Be safe, and I'll see you guys another time. Bye.